What's up, Credit Confident community? It's Chuck Credits of ClearSense Credit Repair. Very happy to have you participate in our Credit Reboot Challenge. This is going to be a very fun challenge, very educational, and it's a great resource as you navigate your way through establishing credit or rebuilding positive credit history. So let's jump straight into week one, you guys. We're starting off with credit assessment this week. Your task is going to be writing down your goals as well as looking at your credit report, okay? A lot of us start off with the same problem. We don't understand how to read our credit reports. And if you don't understand how to read your credit report, then you're never going to understand how to improve your credit profile, increase your credit score, and so forth. So don't worry. I said you're going to have to review your own credit report, but we're going to walk you through it a little bit and show you some things that you should be looking for. You're definitely going to want to start off with the three reporting standards. Of course, we always start with that, looking for accuracy, looking if things are verifiable, looking if things are timely, right? Accuracy being, yes, I did indeed have this account, right? Verifiable, is there any information that's reporting that I need to have the creditor provide me proof that this is accurate? Timeliness in regards to the reporting and debt statutes, right? So that is always going to be one of the first priorities, is checking for those three reporting standards. But the next thing, and the things that we're going to focus on in the Reboot Challenge, is utilization, payment history, and credit history, okay? And there's going to be a lot of explanation around how exactly to strategize around each of these categories: utilization, payment history, and credit history. But don't be overwhelmed. I'm going to tell you this in week one. Do not get overwhelmed. We're going to walk you through this. You're going to understand exactly how credit works and how to manage your credit. That's one of the biggest things. A lot of times people feel like this is so overwhelming, it's too much information, credit is too complex, and it does not have to be that way. That's why just start with the simple things. Start with writing down what is your goal. We really want you guys to write down what's your goal, say it to yourself, put it somewhere special, and just remember that. Don't get lost in all of the other things that you're going to be learning. Just think of the goal. But most importantly, there's one thing about a goal that I want to point out, and I want you guys to be wary of during this challenge. So most people have a goal, right? And like I said, your task is going to be for this week to write down that goal, but start to think about those actions, because the people who have goals, they usually do not have the strategy, which is so important. And before you have strategy, you have to have a goal, and you have to be listing the actions that you're thinking of taking based on your strategy. So think of it this way: if 80% of consumers have a goal of home ownership, right? I want to have a home by the time I'm 40. I want to have my first home. I want to, whatever it is, home ownership is the goal, right? How many of those consumers should be looking at their credit report on a monthly basis? How many of those consumers should be actively participating in their credit worthiness? It's so easy, unfortunately, to say your goal and make your goal statements, but sometimes we get so overwhelmed with the information, we get so overwhelmed with the task at hand that we don't even get to the action. We become paralyzed. Strategy can't exist. We're stuck. Right. And that's what we've really found. We found that the lack of understanding around reading credit reports, the lack of understanding around credit genetics, the lack of understanding about how to manage credit once you do have it, has really paralyzed a lot of us. But that is why we created the Reboot Challenge, because we want to take the fear out of learning the credit system. So again, the next part of your task this week, obtaining your credit reports. You have to do this during the challenge. These are three options that you have. Specifically, the first one is the best during this challenge, if I had to say so myself, because Smart Credit, it's a 3 bureau credit monitoring. It's a monthly service, $24.95, but it's such a great investment because it does allow you to see all three of your credit scores, all three of your credit reports. So that's going to be key as we dig into the Reboot Challenge, as we rebuild and established credit. You want to be able to assess all three. You also have the other solutions or strategies that you can go ahead and do to obtain your credit report, annualcreditreport.com, Credit Karma. You guys can check those out if you're looking for a free option. But smart credit is really the way to go during this challenge because it just allows for you to have everything in one place and monitor it moving forward. So let me show you guys how smart credit looks and what you're going to be looking for in your first week as you assess your reports. All right. So we are looking at smart credit. I have my sample profile, Han Solo here. And Han Solo, it's looking like Hans needs some work, right? So Han's current grade is a D. But before we even get into that, there's so many great benefits of smart credit. You guys have the score tracker, the score builder, the score master. I definitely advise everyone to explore this as you obtain this credit monitoring. You have your auto score, your insurance score, etc. Your score builder is pretty fun, and it allows for you to see what your goal, right? Set your goal and then keep it moving. Start building. All right, but where we're going to go is we're going to go right up here to the top where it says reports. And we're going to go ahead and click the 3 bureau report and scores so we can get to this credit report. So again, you always do want to go through every category: personal information, summary, account history, so forth, inquiries, and so forth. Go down every category and make sure that you're searching for those 3 reporting standards. But that is a little bit separate from what the challenge is going to focus on. That's focusing really on finding that dispute worthy items, but this challenge is focusing on finding where are you lacking and how can you improve and add on. So I want you guys to go straight to this revolving account after you've went through for your 3 reporting standards. Go straight to this revolving account history section right here. And we all know that revolving accounts means that it's an open-ended account, right? So it can carry over balance things like a credit card. So first of all, if you have no history here, Hans has a lot of history, good and bad in this section. But if you have no history here, that's a clear indication that this is going to be the perfect challenge for you because you're going to be able to establish some of that history and start rebuilding. But let's look at Hans. So Hans has this JCPenney's account. It's current, right? So that's good. This is a positive account. There's no lates. That's great. But then when we go down, as we keep exploring, Hans has a derogatory here with Bank of America right here, right? And it's actually went to collection. So we just go through and we're looking for how many items are derogatory. Here's another derogatory. Here's another one. So we're comparing how many current positive accounts do we have versus how many derogatory accounts do we have? Another derogatory. So it looks like Hans is having some trouble with his accounts, right? With his revolving account. So that's something that you're going to put on your list, your to-do list, and we'll talk about that a little bit next week. But definitely start looking at what are the needs, where are you lacking in terms of revolving credit, and then you're going to go to the installment credit section. Again, if has no history, that's going to be a clear indication. Okay, I need to write that I need installment credit on my credit profile. So what we're trying to do, you guys, is optimize the 5 genetics of credit: payment history, utilization, length of credit history, credit mix, and inquiries. So it's very pivotal that you go through your report and see, out of those 5 genetics, what don't I have? So if we go to Hans inquiries, Hans has so many inquiries. You know, we tell you guys 2 to 3 inquiries a year. He's well beyond that. So a few of these, if we're looking for the 3 reporting standards, a few of these should have already fallen off, right? But a few of these inquiries, it's too many. It's too many inquiries. So on Hans' list, he definitely wants to look for credit building accounts that aren't gonna garnish a hard inquiry. He can't afford inquiry. So that limits, or it creates a very specified need when it comes to his credit building options. So I want you guys to do that. Make sure you visit Smart Credit, go through the benefits, obtain your reports. Very, very key. And I do want to mention to you guys, let me log out really quickly. When you go to Smart Credit and you log in, that's my test login. Oh, it didn't show up. All right. Well, when you go to Smart Credit and you first log in, you're going to see a Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax emblem right here with their little logo. Click on that and make sure when you click on it, it'll say partnered with and it'll have the three credit bureaus. Click on it and make sure it says ClearSense Credit Repair. That way you're making sure that you have access to the three bureau credit reports because we are affiliated with Smart Credit. So we have the three bureau credit reports in our link. If you go directly to Smart Credit and don't use the link that we provide to you, you may be obtaining a different Smart Credit account that does not offer the three bureau and scores. Okay, so we want to make sure we have the three bureau and scores, everything in one place. The best way to do that is just to click that emblem and make sure it says ClearSense Credit. All right. All right, guys. So this is week one, credit assessment, your task. Write down that goal. What are you trying to achieve? I want home ownership. I want this score. The next thing is go through your credit report, obtain your credit report, preferably your three bureau, go through it and see where am I lacking? Do I need credit that does not garnish a hard inquiry? Do I need to add on revolving credit? Do I already have a lot of revolving credit? Maybe I just need to pay down. Do I need to add on installment type credit? What do I need in terms of utilization, in terms of adding credit history? What is that necessity? So go through that and we will see you in week two.